You are listening to an interview with a featured Pride of Dakota member.
Hi, this is Sarah Kelch, and today I'm sitting down with Dan Hoffland with Red River Commodities. Welcome, Dan.
Well, thank you, Sarah. Good to be here.
So tell us, you guys produce Sunbutter. Why don't you tell us all about that?
Yeah, we started Sunbutter about 10 years ago, and it's an idea that a lot of other people have had along the way, but nobody was crazy enough to take it to the market and really find a specific market that was interested in it, and that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years.
Okay, so how did you decide to take this idea that you said others may have had, and how did you go about bringing it to fruition?
Well, it's kind of hard to answer the question of how you come up with an idea, but it just came to me. We were looking for additional demand for our sunflower kernel, and bouncing around other ideas, this one kept coming up. And because of peanut allergies, they were not nearly as important back then as they are now. But we thought that was going to be a big market for us within schools. I had no idea how important it would be for the retail market, but as it turned out, the retail market has been a very fantastic market for us as well.
That's great. So how do you go with taking these sunflowers and how do you formulate the recipe or make it so people like the taste and that sort of thing?
Well, of course, it's a secret, and we would have to kill you if we told you. However,
well, it's a good thing I'm in Bismarck.
But we did spend 2 years because it is a little tricky as to how you come up with the process. The ingredients are very simple. You can see it on our jar. It's just some salt and sugar that we added to Sunbutter. And then we have some tocopherols, which is a form of vitamin E for the antioxidant to stabilize it for a longer shelf life. But the process itself is the tricky part, and that's what we spent 2 years working with the USDA Agriculture Research Service down in New Orleans, coming up with that exact process. After we were done with it, we used the people in South Carolina, the University of South Carolina, to come up with that exact balance of taste of the roasting, the salt, and the sugar to try to, quite frankly, mimic the peanut butter business.
Sure. So did you just start out with one flavor? Because I understand currently there's more than one flavor. Did you just start with the basic?
Yes, we started out with creamy, and we put it out as a retail product only because the USDA required that before we were going to be able to use it as a commodity for the USDA school lunch program. So we started out with creamy, and that didn't really go very well because we needed to get it. The early adopter stores are health food stores, and our creamy has a form of hydrogenated oil in it. And so the problem we had is that those stores wouldn't take it. So we introduced the natural product, and that's when our sales really took off nationwide.
So how did you go about even getting it into retail stores? I mean, how did you go about making those connections, or just starting out with it? Did you attend trade shows or?
Well, yeah, there was a combination of things. We did go to trade shows. I contracted the services of a broker, and he was a small broker, but very interested in Sunbutter because he still has a child with peanut allergy. And then I hired a salesperson, and we went to shows, but we more than just went to shows. I mean, we stopped everybody in the show. We were a little bit crazy. We threw the chairs out of the show booth and stood there, and everybody that walked by, we made sure tasted Sunbutter. And so we were pretty aggressive about it, and I think that's one of the important things about going to shows. But we didn't just rely on shows. Of course, you follow up after the show, and it became a really motivation kind of thing on my part to get it done. And you really kind of need that kind of craziness in order to get a product started, because most people will tell anybody, including myself, when we started Sunbutter, that it can't get done. You will fail at this, and almost everybody was happy to tell me that. And so you really do need to have some strong inner drive to get it going.
So once you introduced the natural, you said that, the healthy stores started to pick it up?
Yes, the health stores started picking it up. We did some work with the internet at one of the early websites for peanut allergies called peanutallergy.com. That started getting the word out to peanut allergy moms, and that helped. Plus, there is just an unbelievable network of just everybody who would hear about this, and they would say, "I need to tell my friend, my relative, whatever, that who has a peanut allergy child about this," and that really helped get things going as well. And of course, it didn't hurt when we introduced it. We had a very strong support from the government officials here in North Dakota, from our governor, lieutenant governor, the ag commissioner. Everybody really did help us get it started, and that was a big part of our success to get started.
So you want to tell us a little bit more about the health benefits of the product? Obviously, the allergy portion versus the peanut butter, but what are some of the other health benefits of eating Sunbutter? Yeah,
we do have health benefits. It has less saturated fat than peanut butter. It has more vitamin E than almost anything in the store. And it also has more fiber than peanut butter. And so, and there's a lot of micronutrients and minerals that iron, for example, magnesium, that are key essential elements for your diet that at various levels are hard to find. And we started out because we would ask store managers, "Do you have any people with peanut allergies that come to your store?" And most of them back in the early 2000s, 2002, 2003, they would all say they didn't. And today, of course, that has changed dramatically, and everybody knows that they have peanut allergy customers. So we had to use the health food attributes as a way to convince these health food stores to take our product. And so, yeah, we do have some clear advantages over peanut butter in terms of health.
And I understand do you currently make one with flax as well?
Yes. Omega-3 has been a big deal in the last 4 or 5 years. And so we introduced a roasted flax Sunbutter that would have about 600 milligrams of omega-3 in each serving. And that has been a big winner for us, for those people who are looking for that added health food benefits. The other thing we've done is we've introduced an organic product that doesn't have any salt or sugar added. And that was primarily in response to people requesting, "Do you have anything without salt and sugar?" A lot of us would say that taste this needs a little salt or sugar in it. However, there's a group of what I call true believer health food people who really do love the no salt and sugar added organic that we have. And that's been growing very rapidly. On the West Coast, it is our number one seller.
Oh, wow. So how many different flavors of Sunbutter are there currently?
We have 6 different products right now. We have the original creamy, and then we also have natural. We have a natural crunch. People ask what the crunch is, and I think it seems to me too obvious to almost answer it, but it is whole sunflower seeds that we have roasted in it. And then we have the omega-3 that we have the flaxseed added, and that's North Dakota flax, of course. And then we have the organic unsweetened. The latest one is the no-stir that we've added a palm oil in it, so it's a natural product that we don't have to stir. And for children, having to stir up the natural product, which is our number one seller, by the way, can be a problem. It can be a little too messy. And we've heard of reports of these little kids getting ready for school, and they're starting to stir up their Sunbutter that has a little oil on top, which is a natural occurrence, and they get it all over the clothes. Well, you can imagine what that's like. So this really helps answer an issue for a lot of families to have the no-stir product. And we're in one of our our latest store change is the Safeway store chain out of California. They're spread out all over the country, but that's where the headquarters is, and that store chain has our new Knolster in it.
Oh, okay. So are your products pretty much across the country?
Yes, we're in every state, including Hawaii and Alaska, on retail and in schools. We have distribution in all the major health food distributors and specialty distributors throughout the country. We have there's about 10 distributors that we go through. We're about 13,000 stores throughout the country. We're in all the major retail stores. We're not in all of those stores and all the banners, but we're in what they call the A stores, which are the higher income store neighborhoods. So that includes the Super Value banners throughout the country. It includes the Kroger banners, as I mentioned, the Safeway banners. We're in Target, Walmart. And so it's been really a wild ride to get all of those stores to take our product. It's been a lot of fun.
That's fabulous. So what does the future hold for Sunbutter? Are you coming out with new flavors, or do you do any international business, or what's up next?
Internationally, we are developing the Canadian market, and because people don't quite love peanut butter as much in Canada as you do in the United States, we don't have quite the interest in Sunbutter in Canada as we do in the United States, but it is a growing market for us, growing very rapidly. And then we have been exporting to Australia for quite some time, and also we have a partnership with a company there. And then we also we just started exporting to South Korea. We did earlier, and now it's restarted. The other plan that we have for this coming year is to dig down into what we call the smaller store chains, the ones that are privately owned that are throughout the country. Store chains like the Miners, Dan's Supermarket out of Bismarck would be a typical smaller store chain that's privately owned that has 5 to 10 stores, and we're working on those throughout the country now to bring those also into our list of stocking stores.
So how can people find out, what stores Sunbutter is carried at? Do you guys have a website, or how do they find out more about Sunbutter?
Yes, in fact, that's been one of our big things in the last few years, is to expand our whole internet presence, and then also our internet activity, social media as they like to call it. We're at sunbutter.com. You can sign up and become one of our club members and get some free coupons on a regular basis. And then we invite you to answer some of our surveys that we send out. And so we do quite a bit of work with the internet. We're finding that our biggest customers are young mothers who have peanut allergy children. And the internet is a really important resource for those people. And so we spend a lot of money supporting that and making those folks aware of Sunbutter.
And you're also on Facebook and Twitter, right?
Yes, we're on Facebook and we're Twitter. And we're just doing some Facebook ads that we just started doing very recently. And I tell you, very inexpensive, and in our situation, amazingly effective.
Oh, that's excellent. So people can search for you just as Sunbutter?
Yeah, you can Google Sunbutter. That's one of the things we're very careful about, is making sure that we keep our website fresh, changing things on it so that Google, as what they call organically, will keep us on the top of their search list. And so we're not doing it as some sort of a trick, but it's very important for us to keep it fresh and changing. So we're changing our site always, so you can always have a look at it and see what we've done most recently.
Awesome. Well, it's been great to have you on today, Dan. I appreciate you taking the time to visit with me.
Well, thank you, Sarah.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
To learn more about this featured Pride of Dakota member, visit our website, prideofdakota.com. To become a featured Pride of Dakota member, send an email to prideofdakota@gmail.com. To listen to the full podcast of North Dakota Now, click on the podcast link on our website, prideofdakota.com. Thanks for listening.